Hello, welcome to my YouTube tutorial. This is Bikoti, and today I'm going to walk you through how to design onboarding screen in Figma. Today's tutorial is quite different from every other tutorials. Tutorial for today is going to be a UI design tutorial, that's user interface tutorial. I'm very sure you might have seen some applications, and you see some screen that just tells you about what the application is all about. They'll just give you a hint about what the application does, right? So that's just what we're gonna do today. Okay, so follow me, let's dive deeper. All right, so this is Figma environment. As you can see, for you to use Figma, it's not like Photoshop that it's absolutely free. You don't need to connect to the internet. As for this, you need to connect to the internet before you can use it. All right, so but one cool thing about it is, when you're trying to minimize, or should I say economize, you really do not need to spend a whole lot of money to get data. So what you need to do is just, once you put on your data and you launch your Figma, you can put off your data and do whatever you want to do and put it on back again and let it save whatever you've done or whatever you've designed, right? So my data is on now, and I'm just going to do it in a simple way. All right, so but maybe subsequent tutorials, this tutorial is just to show some people who are already into design, or who is interested in learning UI UX, and just look for something simple. You can start up with, maybe you're already familiar with Photoshop, and you just need to just scale up a bit. So this is going to be nice for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create you have to create a design file, right? You need to create a design file, and to do that, you just come to Figma. That's the Figma icon, right? Then you come to file and you see new design file, and you click it up, and it brings something like this to you. So, and now the next thing we're going to do now is to create a frame. So I'm going to click here. You can see this is a frame. Once you hover on this, it gives you what the name is, which is a frame. So once you click it, you see different frames, right? Different kind of frames. This is a frame for phone. So if I close it up, you see phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, and a lot more. So I'm going to click this, and I'm going to use iPhone 13 Pro Max. So that's what I'm going to use, and it gives me like this. All right, so this is the dimension. I'm very sure you're familiar with all of this. This is the dimension of the iPhone, right? So, and all of these I already put them in before now. Maybe some other tutorials I'm going to show you how and where you can get some of them. Okay, so now, so to zoom out, I just hope I'm getting this, zoom out and zoom in. I used to mix them up together, but to zoom out, I think this is zoom out, zoom in. Yeah, zoom out. To zoom out, you hold your control, and while you are using your mouse, you just scroll. You scroll, and it zooms out automatically by itself. Okay, so now this is it. You already have it like this. Okay, so maybe you just need to curve the edge, if actually it's not necessary, but if you just feel like so let me just put the radius to be something, let's say 25. All right, so I have this cool curve, right? So the next thing I want to do now is I want to make sure that I have this kind of iPhone kind of menu bar, something like that. All right, so I brought it from one of the previous projects I was working on. So now one of the things I would also want you to be familiar with is okay, you can actually rename this to be maybe I don't know, let's say screen 1. Let's say screen 1. All right, so we'll rename it as screen 1, and of course, so of course you can rename your project to as onboarding screen, onboarding screen. All right, yeah, onboarding screen. Okay, so it automatically changes. Okay, so after that, onboarding screen is just a very simple screen that tells a little bit of what the application is all about. It's just to walk you through what the application looks like, right? So now I'm going to put off my data because I'm trying to economize. This is Nigeria, and you know what things are saying actually. So I'm going to put off my data and I proceed with the design. Okay, so once you put off your data, you discover that every other things you're doing will not save. It will never save until you put on your data. So I'm not going to use absolute black or black. Sorry, I'm not going to use absolute black. So I'm going to put it something like this, which is 26, 26, 26, and that's cool. So now you can see this is just to show you the time and some stuff like that. All right, so now you can see this kind of iPhone nature or something like that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate this, and I think I will need 3 screens, or 4 or 3 will be all right. So just duplicate this, and you can see this file has unsaved changes. All right, that's just because I put up my data. Like I said, I put up my data because this saves automatically to the cloud. All right, so okay, of course this screen 1, there won't be need for it because when you open a particular application, when you launch an app, the first thing that comes up is probably maybe the logo of the company and whatever. Yeah, that's what will come up. So this will be for that screen. I'm going to delete this. Delete. All right, so I'm going to come here, then I'll change the color to, let's say, something like this. Maybe something like this would be nice, or something like this. All right, let's say something like this. It would be nice. All right, so now I'm going to come here, which is shape 2, ellipse, and you can just use the shortcuts. To just take you to ellipse. You can see there are shortcuts, so in case you want to use any of them, just master the shortcuts and just click it at once and you can move there. So I'm just going to create this, something like this. You hold your shift and your alt and shift, right? So then you can use, of course, like I said, once you are familiar with graphic design, you'll be used to all of this. So all of this, what they do when you want to align vertical, you want to align horizontal. All right, okay, that's cool. So I'm going to change this to absolute white. I'm going to make it absolute white. All right, so absolute white. So the idea of this is just to show that this is a logo. That's just it. Nothing much serious that. All right, so then I'm going to hit up my text tool, which is just T on your keyboard, or you come to this place and hit up your T. All right, I'm just going to name it as I don't know what name to give to it, but let me just rack my brain once again and just find a name, because it's just going to be more of like a food stuff. So let me say day food. That food. Let me just say that food. I don't know. Okay, you will discover that you can't see it, but I'm gonna increase it now. Oh, sorry, this is not Photoshop, so you have to be very careful. So I'm just gonna increase the size here. Let's see, I'm gonna pick it at 18. Let's see. That food. Okay, so to stylize it, let me just that food, let me use you, a food. Okay, so let's place it somewhere around here, and I'm gonna use not inter, I'm gonna use Lato font, and I'm gonna use let's say bold looks cool. Okay, bold looks cool. Then I think I still need to increase this a little bit. Okay, I think this is cool. So oops, all right, so let's bring it down a bit. All right, so this is just going to display the logo. That's the screen that displays the logo, and you can still add some more few things to it, but I just want to make it as simple as this. So the next screen is just also going to tell us, we can actually use some icon to just make some description. You know, this is just going to be for like kind of the payment. So I'm going to drag this and drop here. I'm going to drag and drop here, right? So I'm just going to have some little description to tell you what this is doing. You know, of course, like every screen tells a particular story. So I'm just going to say place an order. You know, this looks more like it looks more like, let's say it looks more like maybe you're paying or something like that. You know, percentage has to do with something like maybe money or whatsoever. And mind you, I'm not going to use absolute black, so I'm going to come here, I'm going to pick color like this. Let's see, something like this would be cool. Yeah, exactly, something like this. And so after then, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a text here. And okay, before that, let me do something real quick so that this keeps guiding you every time you're designing. So I'm gonna activate my ruler. Once your ruler is not displaying, you can just use your Shift R to make it come up. So I'm gonna place my ruler somewhere around here now. Okay, somewhere around here would be nice. Okay, so cool. Okay, so you can just come, pick a rectangle shape, then click and drag. And what's the essence of this? I'm just trying to ensure that we always have a consistent distance in between every of our frames. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to drag like so. Perfect. So I'm going to bring my ruler down here. Good. So this is to let us know that every of our write-ups shouldn't exceed this boundary, right? This helps in making sure that our designs are perfect. Oops. All right, so every of our designs should be in between this so we cannot delete this because we don't really need it. Delete this and delete this. So you can also do one great thing by putting this thing on a lock so that you won't mistakenly put it off. So I lock it so you can't take it. Oops, I made a mistake. Oh, sorry, what happened was that I just locked the screen. Unlock. Okay, I'm not sure if I thought I can lock this. Okay, I think I can do that. All right, so okay, but what you can just do is you can hide it. You can hide it actually. Hide, yeah. Oops. So you can hide it with your Shift R. It goes off, and Shift R it comes up. All right. So after that, I'm gonna have some right up here. Actually, like I said, this is just a dummy. I'm gonna use dummy text actually, but I'm just trying to tell you what onboarding screen is all about. It tells some story about the app, maybe how reliable the app is, how fast the app is, just giving an insight of how the app looks like. So place an order. So placing an order now, it might just be telling you how fast you can actually place an order on this app. I don't know. So that's just what this is actually talking about, right? So I'm gonna use my title. That's just to left click and drag. So now I'm gonna put on my data, because I want to generate a dummy text here, and without my data on, I can't generate that dummy text. So my data is on now, and it's gonna show me that my update has been saved. It's gonna show me. I just hope I can make it. I can quickly. Okay, good. Changes saved. This is to tell you that everything I've been doing all this while was not saving to the cloud, but once I put on my data, it has saved to the cloud. Okay, so I'm just going to right click, and so this is just, it's going to take a little of my time. All right, so maybe let me just say sentence, let me just say 2 sentences or 3 will be okay. Then I'm gonna say adapt. All right, so I'm gonna reduce the size. I'm gonna reduce the size. All right, so I'm gonna use open sans, and I'm gonna bring this down to, let's say, 14. Good. Then I'm gonna move it from bold to regular. Right, good. So now what happened here was that what I wanted to do was, let me just quickly explain to you. All right, so I created this space to type, which is just putting your text tool, then you left click and drag to create a box where you can type, right? So I right click inside of the box, but I was expecting something, but it wasn't showing up. I don't know why. So I have to move. Sorry. So I have to move outside of the box and right click and go to my plugin and go to the Ipsen. Maybe some subsequent tutorials I may show how to do all of this, how to put all of this together. So I have this dummy text generator, and I click on it, and I could form the number of sentences or words or paragraphs I want to create. All right, so having done that, so I want to make sure that this text is aligned. It's aligned. Okay, so I'm going to put on my data now. So I want to make sure that this text is aligned. I want to make sure it's aligned. What is the name? Justified. So I'm going to click on this. So it's justified now. I'm going to close it. I think 12 is okay. 12 is okay. All right, so like I said, I really do not like absolute black. So I'm gonna put this to, the other time was 26. Oh, of course you can just pick it up here. Oops. Though automatically you can have your color palettes here. So I'm just gonna pick 26. Okay, yeah, it's cool. So I have like this, and this is just gonna tell me some cool story about placing an order, right? So I'm gonna move this up a bit. So I just want to have some cool designs beneath here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my pen tool and I'm gonna click somewhere around here, click somewhere around here, click somewhere around here. All right, so I'm gonna click, and click. Okay, so now the more reason why you're not seeing this is because the way Figma works is that it's, you know, like frame by frame. So this is a particular frame and this is another frame. So what the vector I just created now is outside of the frame, like it's not inside of any of the frames. So I need to locate which frame I want it to be inside. So I'm this screen 1, which is this frame, that's screen 1. You know, I've not renamed this, that's why we still have this as screen 1. Let me rename this to the screen 2, so it automatically updates here. So screen 2. So I'm gonna dissolve it, then I'm gonna drag this inside of it, and yeah, okay. So I'm gonna click on this, then I'm gonna go to fill. I'm gonna give it a preferred color. Let me see. So I'm gonna come here, then I click on this. I can pick this color, but let me just come and pick this color. So I'll click, then I'll go to, there's one more thing I want to do now, stroke. I really do not need stroke on this, so I'm gonna turn off the visibility for stroke. So then I'll come here, I would reduce the opacity to, let's say 60%, and it looks cool. So I can decide to duplicate this. That's control copy and paste. Oops. Copy and paste. Paste. Okay, so I copy and paste, then I can just make some cool moves like this. It's not something too serious. So I just copied and pasted, then I turned, I gave it a kind of, you know, once you just click on this and your anchor points are showing and you have this curve, you can easily move to any direction you want. Okay, so that's just what I did. Having done that, I think I'm cool with this, right? So the next one I want to have another one more screen or two more screens. So I'm going to hold my Alt, and one cool thing about this thing is it's going to show you the distance between them, which is 68 pixels. So I have it, then I'm cool. So the next thing is maybe showing you my mode of payment, right? So I'm going to turn this, I'm going to delete this because I don't need it. I'm going to drag this and drop into the frame. So I'm going to have something like this. All right, it's cool. So I'm going to say easy pay or something like that. Easy pay. Easy pay. So let's say something like this. So now I want to move this to the, I want to move this to the center. I just click on this, and of course, you know, this is just a dummy text, and you can easily put the contents. So you can easily put the content, and that's gonna be nice. That's if you're designing, you know, you have to design with a maybe copyright. Is it copywriter? Yeah, copywriter, so that your work can be very easy for you. So this just signifies, or yeah, signifies something like payment also. So now this golden label, I'm just going to create another screen now, holding my Alt and my Shift at the same time. 68, so I release them. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to drag this inside of it. Okay, so let's say this app is just meant for foodie. Okay, so foodie app. So like I said, you can always rename this screen, maybe screen 3, screen 3, screen 3, then this could be screen 4. All right, so that's just the amazing onboarding screen. So one more thing, of course, this screen is just to tell a little bit of stories about what the app is actually all about. So of course there should be a skip button somewhere around here. So I'm just going to click on my text tool. I'm going to type skip. All right, so I'm going to reduce the size to, let's say 12. Let's say 12. Okay, let's say 14. 14. Okay, let's say 15. All right, I think 15 is cool. So this should be somewhere around here. All right, so I'm going to change the color to something like I'm gonna pick this and I'm gonna pick this color. Okay, good. So that's nice. Bold. Okay, Lato 15 bold. I think bold is cool. All right, so skip. Now other screens needs to have that too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate. So I'm gonna hold I'm gonna click my skip, hold my Alt and drag Shift and Alt so that everything will be on a straight line. Okay, I'll do the same thing here. I'll hold my Alt, my Shift, like so. Good, perfect. Okay, I think that's cool. So that's just how to design an onboarding screen for a mobile UI design. Okay, so now we are done with this tutorial. It's as simple as this, though I'm not going to prototype for today. I'm not going to prototype. Maybe some subsequent tutorials I'm going to show how to prototype. So but what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to play this and see how it looks like on a mobile phone. So I'm going to play it and I'll show you how it looks. All right, so but I'm not going to prototype. I'm not going to prototype at all, because for you to prototype this, that means you have to create like a home, or maybe for instance, if it's it's an app, you need to like I said, it's always going to save. So like an app, you need to register. So once you just click skip, it takes you to where you can register or where you can log in, right? So but since I've not done that, so I'm just going to leave it till some other times. Okay, so now I'm going to play this. So I'm going to come to this screen and I'm going to click on play. So it takes some little time. It takes some little time and it will display. So we now see how it looks on a mobile phone. Okay, so it's just going to take some little time. Just be patient. Okay, so now this is how it's going to look on your mobile phone. This is going to come up first, which is going to be the logo and the name of the company, or the name of the app rather. Then the next screen, I'm just going to I'm using my forward and backward key. So then by the time you prototype, this takes some little time and it goes away and it comes to this screen, and this tells you some stories about maybe this. And if you're not interested, you can just click on skip. But since I've not really done anything like a prototype on a skip, so it's not going to work. So just click and it goes to the next page, or next screen rather, and you click, it goes to the next screen. You can swap, or just make maybe on a tap, on click rather, or on tap, click, or drag, then it goes to the next page, and so on and so forth. Or maybe if you just click on skip, it takes you to the next page where it needs to take you to, which is maybe your login or your sign up page, right? So that's how it works. So, and there's no more screens, so it won't go unless maybe if I come back with my back arrow key, and that's how it's going to look like on your mobile phone. So thank you guys for this tutorial, and I hope you really enjoy it. If this is your first time hitting up on my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, like this video tutorial, and subscribe. Please invite more people to watch this tutorial. I'm going to be doing more and more and more of it: graphic design, UI UX design. And if this really sounds like something you're interested in, please do not wait to hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Thank you.